Improving the energy efficiency of the UK's ageing housing stock has become increasingly important in light of increasing energy prices in the UK in recent times. So how strong is the case for government financial support to subsidise the cost of home insulation? Insulation lowers the amount of heat that's lost through roofs, walls and floors, meaning that less energy is required to heat a building. It could be a household, it could be a school, it could be a hospital. There are just under 30 million homes in the UK, but it's an ageing housing stock and it's amongst the least energy efficient in Europe. Indeed, studies have shown that houses in the UK can lose heat up to 3 times faster than on the continent. Well, we know that the market for home insulation has been growing recently, particularly with energy prices rising. Market demand has gone up. If the government was to give a direct grant to consumers for home insulation products, including, for example, cavity wall insulation, that would lead to an increase in demand, an outward shift of demand, which, other things being the same, would lead to higher prices and perhaps some delays in completing home insulation projects. That all depends on the price elasticity of supply. Installing, for example, loft insulation costs around £500, perhaps a bit more, depending on the type of property, but you can make an annual saving quite significant. Cavity wall insulation costs more, upwards of £2,000, and can save money as well. But in reality, many lower income families in particular simply cannot afford to do this. So one of the interesting economic issues at the moment is whether the state should step in. So, assess the arguments for whether the UK government should invest in a nationwide home insulation project. The Climate Change Committee estimates that 1/4 of the UK's greenhouse gas emissions can be attributed to residential energy use, including lighting, heating and appliances. So energy efficiency is certainly, if you pardon the pun, a hot topic. So what are the key arguments for government subsidy? Well, first of all, insulating homes can cut energy consumption, reduce CO2 emissions, and therefore help the UK achieve its net zero objectives. The government wants to try to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Secondly, home insulation reduces costs for households. They can reduce energy bills by perhaps 1/4. Now, that will save households money and have a significant effect in particular on the disposable incomes, the real purchasing power of low-income families, many of whom are experiencing fuel poverty, which in 2022 is forecast to affect up to 50% of households. Thirdly, a government-funded subsidy scheme could create jobs and boost the economy. And that, of course, could have a positive multiplier effect both on aggregate demand and GDP growth. And there are the wider health benefits. Poorly insulated homes are cold and often damp and mouldy, and that can be significantly damaging to health, particularly for vulnerable groups such as children and the elderly. So proper energy efficiency, home insulation could lead to external benefits, including a reduction in costs faced by the National Health Service. And generally the argument might be that spending money now on insulation could be more cost effective in the long run than simply the government offering energy price schemes or energy bill subsidies, as has been used in 2022 and 23. Now, a subsidy means that the government pays part of the cost. For example, the government might offer a subsidy to cover some of the costs, the input costs of firms providing home insulation products. Well, the effect is to shift the supply curve to the right, leading to a lower price and a higher quantity demanded. And we can see this in the diagram. Here's the subsidy per unit, outward shift of supply leading to a new equilibrium price and quantity. The subsidy per unit is shown by the vertical distance between the pre and the post subsidy supply curve. Now the consumer will pay price P2 if you subsidise, so they get the benefit of lower prices. The producer will receive the price P2 plus the subsidy, so they'll end up getting P3. Consumer pays P2, the producer will receive P2 plus the subsidy, which therefore equals P3. And the shaded area shows the cost of the subsidy to the government. That's the subsidy per unit multiplied by the output Q2. In a question on subsidies, it's always good to develop your analysis, perhaps to show the effect on both consumer and producer surplus. And these are two key measures of economic welfare. So if we go back to our original diagram, if the price falls from P1 to P2 and quantity rises from Q1 to Q2, the effect of a subsidy is to cause a fall in prices, which leads to an increase in consumer surplus from area A, P1B, to area A, P2C. So in theory, a subsidy can improve consumer welfare. However, it's important to evaluate the case for subsidy. First of all, subsidies can be very expensive. If we're talking about insulating millions of homes with a cost per insulation in hundreds of pounds, this can be very expensive, particularly if it's a universal subsidy made available to all households, rather than the government perhaps targeting the subsidy and the improvements on those on low incomes. There's also the cost of administration. Subsidies often require a significant amount of administration and oversight to make sure that they're being used appropriately and not leading to fraud. And this is always the danger when governments provide financial incentives. They can be vulnerable to fraud, particularly if appropriate checks and balances are not put in place. There might also be a consequence for the trade balance. Most insulation products, including double glazing and loft insulation products, are imported in the UK. We don't necessarily have the manufacturing capacity. So therefore, an increase in government spending on subsidies might ultimately lead to a rise in the trade deficit and also reduce the size of the multiplier. And there's also an opportunity cost. That money spent on subsidising home insulation, well, if it's in the billions of pounds, that might be more effectively spent in other areas that are perceived to be priorities. So there we go, a quick look at the economics of government subsidies for home insulation.